Hi friends, I'm Rocky Outcrop. This is a Tezos and Chainlink technical analysis episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Let's see if we can push the subscriber number up. Hey, if you're just joining me for the first time, hit that button. I'd really appreciate it. Cooly schmooly, let's take a look at the charts together. This is the Ichimoku cloud that I have behind me today. Thought I'd do things a little bit differently for the show. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff on the charts. Woo-wee! If you wanted to look at drawings, we don't need to right now. What we have, this low coming in versus this previous low, it's bullishly divergent. This is the Tezos to Bitcoin pricing. By the way, in this episode, am I still huge? Yeah, I am. Whoops, sorry. Shrink myself down. Sorry. Whoop, there I am. Nobody puts Rocky in a corner, apart from Rocky. Yeah, that's me, Rocky Outcrop, 100% quality. Good stuff. This is the Tezos to Bitcoin one. What we'll be looking at in this episode is Tezos versus Bitcoin, Tezos versus dollar coin, Tezos versus the Ethereum bobs, and Link versus Bitcoin, Link versus the dollar coin, Link versus the Ethereum bobs, and there'll be chapters down below as well. You know, not in the 1 minute after publishing the video, but at some point, give me 5 minutes to put them together. There'll be chapters there for you to be able to look to if you want to skip around. Okay, cool. So Tezos versus Bitcoin, we've got this low and versus this low, bullishly divergent. That's good to see if we were to look for a turnaround in terms of the prices. We also have this negative cross here between the yellow and blue, which is my conversion and baseline on the Ichimoku cloud. And that kind of actually crossed, if we were to be honest about it, back over here on the 16th of October. It just remains positioned in that way up to now. What is that? Is that positive or negative? Well, it's negative, of course, and we can see that we've got this downward trend on the go, and you can see that the price action is very much, lower than it has been going back the way. It's been quite a while since the price action was actually operating higher than it was in the past. You have to look all the way back over here to August for that to be the case. If you're looking at that Chiku span, that lagging thing there, it's basically useless, but whatever. We are trending towards the downside, but we're looking for counter trend indications at this point. Otherwise, what you have here was another short coming in at this point over there on the 16th of October, which you're still in at this point, and you'd be looking to take profit on it and stop out of it, I suppose, if we come back here and challenge this line again at 1818. That makes a lot of sense looking at the prices currently at 1730. Really, we want to see the prices move above 1900, which is where the baseline is, and then come up and try these higher areas up here at the 21s, 22s. Popping that back on here, you can see 1900s, the 21s areas being important in terms of our historical significance, support and resistance. 236 comes in there at 2150, of course, as well, where we really want to see the prices pushing up above that at the minute. That's coming in, lining up perfectly with our Senku span, our leading span B, whatever, who cares, or A, or what'd you call it? Senku span A, Senku span. And that's where we're looking to. The cloud is pretty thick, it does narrow over here. If we were to look to try and take the sort of the narrowest point through it, maybe something like this would be where you'd be looking for if you're looking at that. Of course, that's, not everybody's cup of tea when it comes to Ichimoku analysis, but that's something that I talk about if you're looking at it and you're asking me. So, what are we looking at? Can we get this price point back first off or not? Otherwise, we're continuing to trend towards the downside. With the trend movements, we have the lack of divergence here on the DMI with the strength of trend showing towards the downside, a big divergence, big movement away from each other in terms of the positive negative DI. You also have a lack of divergence here on the stochastics versus these ones. Positive case scenario though, you do have an uptick on the stochastics. They tend to stay ticked in one direction for a period of time at least, so if we don't see this ticking back around again as we saw in these lows, maybe we'll get good if we see us taking out the neutral line or the back into the neutral area, going from being oversold. That would be very, very good. We can obviously stay there for a while, so looking out for crosses on that one essentially. Can we take out the bearish control zone here with this bullishly divergent low on the RSI and move towards the top side at that point? That's what we're looking for in terms of that one. Now the dollar coin pairing, same sort of scenario. We have a negative trend, but this negative trend, don't piss your pants, is clearly identified with this Negative pitchfork, don't piss your pants, and this big cloud up above our heads. Again, please stop with the pants pissing. If we look towards these areas, what are we looking for? Well, movement up above this would be bullish, above 227. We're quite close to it at the minute. Could we do it? If we can, that would be good, and we could move up towards the top side. Negative stuff for us to be aware of. Fact is, we've just had a cross there in the previous day's price action with the conversion in the baseline, giving us a sell signal in terms of this ichimoku cloud. And of course, it's all the pieces are in place there, and we're right below the cloud and everything else. Yes, we could see withdrawals from this point. If we put in a higher low, however, then we're just consolidating here overall, and perhaps even just continue to trend towards the top side. As we see, yes, we would just feel to say we're trending towards the top side, and perhaps we can challenge this. Now, we have got one of the thickest points of the cloud up above our heads if we were to want to go up through this zone here. As you can see, there we go. So overall, that has been as a result of this really negative downward price action. If we do this, i.e., I'd want to see it doing it with a degree of momentum, which means we can look towards things like 240 and 260 and say, we gosh darn well better be getting those targets, as parts of this overall upward movement before trending towards the downside. Elsewise, things just look flat within the cloud. If we put the drawings back on, no, I don't need to put the drawings back on. I already know that the 236 Fibonacci retracement point comes in here at 252. It's on one of these other charts, I'm sure. Yeah, at 252, key area for us into this zone. If we can make it up there, things will look flat, which would be positive from a resolution to a downwards trend point of view. Fact is that staying above 211 is what we've wanted to see happen, and it's what we've seen happen in terms of opens and closes. So if we do that, and that's what I mean about the higher low overall, then fine. So there is a sell signal in the Ichimoku. We do have a downward trend versus Bitcoin. We do have a chop with regards to this in terms of the dollar coin. Let's look down the way and see if there's got some volatility jumping at us or anything like that. Not really. It has come down here and managed to avoid it. So maybe, we don't have any shocks to the system to be aware of right now with regards to that. Yeah, so we're still just looking for this trend to kind of diminish. Looking at it in terms of the bigger, broader picture, we know that the strength is there, but will it actually fade away? Well, it could. We do have the option for that. We'd need to see things pushing up the way. That's where we are. Link now then versus the Bitcoin. And yeah, again, don't get scared. By the way, just on that point, let's go take a look at channel comments. Is it this video? And where are we seeing it? Here, this is it, right? Good stuff. Shout out to Yol. I'm 35 seconds into your video, and dude, your chart is scary, lol. And what he's talking about here is he's talking about this. It's scary looking. Look at that. Yeah, and fair enough. Fair comment, right? Fair comment. I read it, enjoyed it. Everything always gets explained, lol. Check out some of my other videos, like the latest one, Education Series. Get a good handle on it all quickly. Think maybe I ought to ditch it all again and forever doing it for new folk that join us. Clean up the charts and all that. Cheers to the comment, much appreciated. Welcome to the family. You'll get right up to speed in no time. I should, I suppose, clean it up, but then this would perhaps turn into yet another YouTube channel with nothing of real value to add, which I try not to be. Then he gets it immediately. The graph was spot on. I liked it. I watched the entire thing and I agree with you. Wow, great. Thank you. Tell you what, this sort of comment means a lot to me. I think for newcomers, if first thing they see is 3 ascending lines like going down now, they might get scared, lol. I see, you've used funny words here, but I get what you're trying to say. If we see those lines going down, it looks scary. I appreciate the knowledge, man. Going to start building a link position. So here we are looking at the charts. What do we have? The scares. Let's just look under the bed though, shall we, at the monsters. We've got this downward sloping, this is the 3-day time frame. We've got this downward sloping pitchfork. We've managed to make it back inside of it yet again. We've managed to take out the conversion line of the Ichimoku cloud yet again. Of course, giving us the idea that if you were short on this, that you could maybe be looking to sort of, wrap up your position at this point, but we're long ways to go from where we're moving towards the top side. We have actually managed to find support in here at the leading span B, the baseline, the 52 period high-low median average. And of course, that lines up here here with the 786 Fibonacci retracement, and we have the 618 above our heads. Things are not obviously ideal. I mean, it's obvious, look at this 3-day downwards trend, but jumping back over towards the 24-hour time frame, we can say that there's some cause for a degree, at least, of positivity or potential optimism in the face of negative price action. Negative price action being that we just actually had yet another cross down the way with this negative, the baseline and the conversion line crossing in a negative way, the yellow crossing below the blue. But what we have here in terms of patterns and whatever else is this triangle. This is sort of equal rights triangle where you could see it go up or down or a wedge, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Movements outside of this zone would take us back in to, well, of course, we have a big load of resistance above our heads. If we do it at this point here, then the narrowest point between the sections anyway, then of course things would look quite easy in terms of taking this measured move and running with it in terms of going up towards movements above the cloud, which of course would then happen with the crossover between those things, and things would look quite positive. And from the point of view of just the drawings in the background, we'd be past the lower line and the median line of the pitchfork, and we'd be looking towards our target there at 130k for that. Now go back and watch the previous episodes, by the way, if you want a different type of analysis, because this is esoteric. I understand the previous analysis, like Yoel was saying, is very much intelligible if you watch the video, so you can go ahead and do that. We're above our key area here of this yellow line. We had a cross back over here in terms of the Ichimoku cloud, in terms of the way that people would say to play this thing or not. If you want to use including this stupid lagging jobby, I call it stupid. It's not stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't be talking about it like that. If you were wanted to play this alongside, you'd say, well, first off, the lagging jobby is within the cloud, so that would discount that as being a potential for a trend. Let's just say that we don't look at that, though. Instead, because we're not a big fan of triple systems, and instead we like the dual approach. Check out the Ichimoku Cloud explainer video for what I'm talking about here. Then we have this crossover here on the 11th of October, and that was a positive one, but we were still below the cloud. So again, another reason why you might not want to play that. And the price action itself at this time was within the cloud, flat. And you saw then that actually we see a retrace from its highs down to its lows of 15%. From the price it was when the cross occurred, we can see, say you went long at it right there, down to here, then you can see a sort of 7%. And of course, that's the shallowest amount of loss that you'd have possibly been able to have at that point. What then do you see as we cross back down below? Of course, you could have got rid of your at break even here if you'd managed that properly with your long, and then waited, and we found support in here at the baseline. In fact, as well at this wedge that we have on the charts, and then we move towards the top side. And in fact, we haven't seen these cross back around again, and we're still within the cloud itself. In fact, was I right in saying that the thing was in the cloud? It wasn't, was I? It's this drawing here. It's this drawing here which has made it so that I said that. It wasn't within the cloud, so you could have, whatever, you're below the cloud anyway, so that kind of rules that out in terms of long in it. So there you saw that. At this point here, we have got within the cloud, this could be flat, whatever else. I want to see, instead of looking at this Ichimoku sort of for the basis of our trading here, I want to just see us kind of moving outside of this wedge. If not, then of course we're coming back down, and we could potentially visit this 10,333 area. In terms of volatility and profits and losses, etc., movements within this wedge are the guts of 20%. So of course you have to be very, very mindful of that the best trading that you get this year could potentially be within this wedge, as it has been so far. Absolutely great trading to be had here, just in terms of what most people are tuning in for and looking in terms of like the longer term analysis and whatnot. We really need to see the prices take out this 50% area at $13.69, so that we can say that we're really starting to move back into positive territory again. Looking over to the left, you can see numerous reasons for that. Just jumping over to another link chart which has got less noise on it of that particular nature, and instead looking at these Fibonacci's here that we've got drawn in on the left with regards to the current price action. not this wee one here, which we don't need. In fact, what we'll do is we'll use this one over here instead. We'll say that, so long as the prices stay above $11.26, that we're doing okay. We're in positive land. No, not 11.26, 11.22. We're above, the 236, and the upward side trend can continue. Let's remove this cloud here so you don't get so scared by it in the meantime, eh? And then looking between the highs there and our most recent lows, where we come so far, well, we've come up quite close, close enough to the 886 in terms of a retracement, and we are still within this quite obvious wedge pattern here, which is obviously, converging in terms of its points, so it's a negative continuation structure here that we're looking at potentially if we were to drop down the way, which means that if we do see movements down the way, then of course 11.22, 10.53, 9.88, and then this $9 Fibonacci 618 retracement zone is going to be important for us, because zooming up towards the 3-day time frame, you can see actually in 3-day even you're taking out the 50% line, but in and around this zone is obviously going to be important for us. Looking at the Link Ethereum pair, and then you see that actually everything we spoke about worked out perfectly. It's heartbreakingly perfect when you look at this triangle, the measured move off of it taking us down to the outside, to the inside of this other triangle. Movements back up again. We're at the apex of it. We need to take out this area towards the top side. Looking at the 236 over here, it comes in at 28. We're above that. It's above 28828882288882. We're above that, and what we're looking to try and get to is 322332332323232. And right now we're at 2992929. So that's the broken computer for you. If we can get up to 30 and move beyond it, good. Otherwise, 30 is clear profit taking target. And of course, that from where we are now is 5% up. Movements from that could easily see a retracement of 10%. If we were to get a measured move off the back of this thing, and it were to do it textbook style from here, if it's not do it textbook style, you're going up to 36, which is obviously a nice solid 20% rise up from the area. But if you're to do it sort of textbook style, you're looking up to 33. Talking about it in terms of percentage movements, you're talking about the same depth that's within the channel, within the triangle where we are just now. Anyway, trading within this could obviously be just as lucrative as trading without of it. You just need to decide how you're going to manage your risk, i.e. the fundamental basis of what all trading is and what you learn by watching these episodes. And you can manage your risk around this in numerous different ways, one of which being just simply right here on the 28828282888 broken computer 236 line, being a key area for us if you were trading the Link Ethereum pairing. But maybe just in general, what you're looking at here is asking questions about how do we fare with this pairing? How do we fare to pair to Belalidaire with regards to the overall huge long trend? Just let Ichimoku answer that for us and hide all the drawings instead, and say that, well, for large periods of time, we're above this baseline, really, this red line. The price action's above it, and we're above the green line as well. We're kind of above both of these for large periods of time. Recently, we pushed way beyond that. Now we've come back down. We're below it again, but it's not like the first time we've ever been below it. We've been below this several times in the past, just before a big rise up there. Now you can see that the vast majority of this cloud, though, is very much thin below us here, and when it's thicker, below us when it's thicker, thin on my thin thimble. So you can see then that in terms of the dynamic that we have right now, this is somewhat different to the historical dynamics that we've had with regards to the cloud. As you can see, I can tell that you can't tell what's going on with the price action, but you can see that the cloud has been below us for most of that time, going back up to where we are now. We find the clouds above us. So that's interesting from this 24-hour point of view with the Link Ethereum pairing. And what's also really interesting right now is that while you've got this sort of the failure to get a sell signal in at this point, you've got the movement up above this area into the cloud itself, asking questions as about being able to push past the line, the A line, up towards the B line through here, while we have this huge chunk of potential volatility waiting in the wings to come in and get us. If we were to see price action do ups and downs in this area, it wouldn't be a surprise to me at all. But do we have enough rocket fuel in terms of this thing to be able to do something about where we are now? Well, we do, which means that we're in for some interesting price action. Not making predictions either way with regards to this. I just wanted to point out that in terms of the 24-hour time frame, this remains important. And of course, that means that we will be keeping a keen eye on things like the Ethereum prices themselves as well. So check out those videos. Groovy. Going to publish these things now. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Rocky Outcrop. Rocky did I do Tezos versus Ethereum? Did I do Tezos versus Ethereum? My name's Rocky Outcrop. I do these videos Monday to Friday. Did I do Tezos? I think I maybe didn't do it. Maybe I did. Can't remember now. I'm sure you'll be fine. Join the Discord. That's all good. We do live chats, voice chats on Monday. So the next live voice chat will be coming up on Monday. Set up for a good week's trading up ahead. We've certainly benefited from that in the recent days. In fact, in the last 3 of them, anybody who's listened into the chat has had extremely amazing information handed to them completely for free. Not by me as well, by various people in there, including me. So you can get involved in that. I'll see you in the Discord in between times. And I just appreciate it. Can we see the channel grow? Can we? It's all up to you. It's all up to you. I can't make the channel grow. I can't divide myself like Mr. Anderson into thousands of different people around the world and then go in and subscribe to the channel myself. No, that is you. That is you that does that. So the power exists with you. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time.